Welcome back, everyone. It has been a long time since I have had a video come out. I think the last video that came out was like in the end of November or something like that. I had been pushing and pushing for some idea to come out, and like nothing has. You can almost say I've had mental constipation. And finally, I was, talking to my wife about this problem where I just couldn't get a move on and get some idea going. And she said, well, make another video about pooping, which is kind of funny if you know anything about this channel because, well, the reality is if this channel is known for anything, it's known for two things. One, plant-based food menu, plant-based backpacking food, and pooping videos and how to clean yourself with a bidet. Now, I didn't want to do another pooping video, so I was like, well, what's the opposite of pooping? Not pooping. Backpacking constipation. Now, that is a topic that there needs to be more about on YouTube. Backpacking constipation. And here's the problem. I think when most people go backpacking, they don't really think that their lack of bowel movements is a problem. They just see that as part of backpacking. I had a friend once, we always used to joke about it. He never pooped while backpacking. It was just like what backpacking was, not pooping. He didn't even have to bring toilet paper. The dude never pooped on any trip. And looking back upon it, I could see that it wasn't because it was the backpacking doing it. It was because there was always this huge shift in the type of food that we ate. We shifted to a lot of processed junk food, especially when we were younger. It was all processed junk food. And that is not exactly the type of food that keeps you regular. There is approximately 95% of Americans who do not eat enough fiber. Now think about it. Enough fiber would be somewhere between 25 and 35 grams of fiber, depending on your sex and your, how much you eat and all that other good stuff. And if the average backpacker falls into that 95% number, when you go backpacking and you bring foods with even less fiber, it's no surprise that you're not pooping. You need to bring approximately 15 grams of fiber for every 1,000 calories that you pack. One more time. And this is when you're doing your meal plan, I want you to check this. You need about 15 grams of fiber for every 1,000 calories of food that you pack. Now, a lot of times the backpackers, when they pack their food, they're going to check calories. They're going to check carbohydrates. A lot of people will check protein, but you're not checking fiber, right? That's something that just falls off your radar. 15 grams of fiber for about every 1,000 calories that you eat. Again, different per person and size and everything else, but just a rough kind of middle number for you there. Now, what you're looking at in front of me are 10 different foods that I normally bring that have fiber in them. I didn't go crazy trying to I didn't research high fiber foods to bring while backpacking. I literally just thought of things that I normally bring. I looked up to see how much fiber was in them. And here you go. Here's 10 examples for you. I am not going to do a big explanation of all the different foods. Maybe there's a whole series coming out of this video of foods that help with constipation while backpacking. And maybe we'll do a video on each one or something. I don't know. So let's go through these quick. Again, this video is not set up to give you all the details. If you want more details on any of them, you can go and hit the internet. The first one right here, this is flaxseed. This is 2 tablespoons. It's 3 grams of fiber. And with the flaxseed, it's easy to put into either my morning or evening meal. I can throw that into my morning, whatever my cereal-ish mix is, if it's oatmeal or poha or whatever I'm eating in the morning. You can also throw that into your evening meal. It just blends right in. If you're eating some mashed potatoes and other stuff, you can throw it right in there. It blends right in. So flaxseed. And again, these aren't supplements. This isn't like going to the store to the laxative aisle and getting some Metamucil. I saw that recommended on a couple of Reddit posts where people were like, does anybody get backpacking constipation? And people were, instead of people recommending eating real food, they were recommending all this supplements from the supplement aisle. That I don't get. Eat some real food. Here's some examples. So flaxseed. The next one is TVP, textured vegetable protein. If you want to know more about that, just search on my channel for TVP. It's a very easy way to add protein, a plant-based protein to your diet. This amount of TVP right here will be 3 grams of fiber. You can cold soak it. You don't have to cook it. The next thing are figs. This number of figs right here will have 3 grams of fiber in it. And figs are not something that a lot of people would normally eat, but I think they're absolutely delicious. If you like fig Newtons, and I especially am talking about like the old school fig Newtons that actually had figs in them and aren't just called Newtons nowadays, they're delicious. You basically just take off that little stem and then you pop it in your mouth, and it's really chewy and sweet. The next thing is a very common one, obviously, and that is raisins. So a half a cup of raisins gets you 2 grams of fiber. Easy to throw in, and a lot of people would, this is a breakfast thing or a trail food as you're hiking, but also it's awesome in dinners. When you soak a raisin, or if you're cooking, I do cold soaking, but if you're going to soak a raisin, it plumps up and gets very sweet. And I'll put raisins in like mashed potatoes and things like that for dinner, and they're awesome. The next one is prunes. Now, I know prunes are a little old school. Maybe your grandmother, your grandfather used to eat prunes to help with, get the flow going. But this amount of prunes right here are 3 grams. And let me just give you one little hint with eating prunes that might help you like them more. One of the reasons why I think people think they're gross is because when you normally buy prunes, they're kind of slimy and squishy. I buy them and I leave the lid open for a while, and it dries them out more, and then they become like big raisins, and then I'll eat them. And especially if I'm going to bring them backpacking, I'll let them dry out, because otherwise they all like stick together and glom together. But like now, these are all like nice and dry, and they're like big chewy raisins. And I said that's 3 grams of fiber right there. Each date has about 1 gram of fiber per date. And dates are, again, not a thing that people typically eat in their day-to-day life. I do, other people do, but it's not a normal thing to eat in your day-to-day life. And so I would recommend try some, bring some on the trail. And if you're not into like dates like this, try some date paste, which I think I have a video which I talk about date paste. It's like a jelly taste almost. It's a nice sweet taste. And so dates, great source of fiber. Almonds. This is 3 tablespoons, and you're looking at 4 grams of fiber right here. And obviously almonds, you can figure out what to do with almonds. Chia seeds. One that you might not necessarily be familiar with. Chia seeds given to the Aztec warriors before they went into battle, so it's good enough for a constipated backpacker. Just this 2.5 tablespoons right here is 10 grams of fiber. And chia seeds will get very gelatinous, so you can put them in your breakfast, but I also do like a chocolate pudding at night after dinner with them, and they're delicious. If you research chocolate pudding on my channel, you'll find them. Again, they absorb the water and get gelatinous and all stick together. And speaking of absorbing water, if you're researching fiber, if this video sparks you to become an expert in fiber, you'll see 2 common words pop up: insoluble and soluble fiber. Insoluble fiber is the fiber that's not soluble in water. And think of that as that's the scrubbing fiber that takes out those rotting pieces of meat in the crevices of your intestines as it sweeps through. That's your nuts and your starches like potatoes and stuff like that. And then there's your soluble fiber. That's the stuff that absorbs the water. That's like your apples and oatmeal. That's the stuff that like puffs up and slides through, the stuff that makes you feel full. And that brings us to our next item. I'm going to skip the mangoes, is oatmeal. And just the 1 cup of oatmeal is 8 grams of fiber. And as I just mentioned, the oatmeal is the soluble fiber. That's the one that absorbs the water, slows things down, allows things to get absorbed better. And with that in mind, you might consider eating oatmeal at the end of your day. Because I know especially, oatmeal makes me feel very full, and I don't tend to want to eat much more. And so if you're someone who likes to keep snacking throughout the morning as you're hiking, oatmeal kind of slows down your snacking. So I'm considering some experiments. I mean, I've eaten oatmeal at night before, but I'm experimenting maybe on an upcoming trip where I kind of flip my dinners and my breakfasts, because my dinners are normally like the high, carby things. So are my breakfasts. But if I flip them, my dinners are more like a quick, I would process them faster maybe for better energy. And whereas my breakfasts go like slow go through my intestines, I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with that. And last but not least are my sunflower seeds. That's a half cup of sunflower seeds, and that is 6 grams of fiber right there. And obviously sunflower seeds you can throw into anything. So when you're looking at these 10, the mangoes are there just for an extra. I was going to talk about them. I've decided not to. I've talked enough. If you look at everything that is here, you're looking at 1,500 calories. You're looking at 250 carbs, and you're looking at 66 grams of protein. That's pretty good for a very small amount of food. I didn't put it all on a scale, so I don't know how much it weighs. But that's pretty good for, that amount of food right there. If you doubled it, you're already up to 3,000 calories. And you don't even have to go any farther than that for most people, for most normal hiking. So there are 10 items right there that you can stick into your backpacking meal plan and add some fiber to your diet. Please remember, don't add it all at once. Take it slow. And you can't just all of a sudden go from a normal standard American diet to eating tons of fiber on the weekend. You will be wrecked, and you will be cursing me in the comments after that. If you are on a standard American diet and you all of a sudden tried to eat this, you'd feel bound up, and you'd be all gassy, and all sorts of stuff would be happening inside of you. So you do kind of have to take it slow and have a transition. Just add a few at least, add a few more. Eat some in your normal life, and then go from there. All right. I don't know if this will become a series of foods that fight backpacking constipation, but hopefully you had an idea here, and it helps you poop in the woods. Helps you poop in the woods. One of the worst last lines I've ever had of any video on this channel. I hope it helps you poop in the woods. All right, guys. See ya.